Welcome to the Business Development Podcast, brought to you by the Global Business Development Association, delivering the strategies and tactics to boost your career and corporate growth.
Welcome, everyone, to the Global Business Development Association podcast called What is Business Development? And today we have a wonderful guest who's a very accomplished academic, and he will talk about his new book. Our guest today is Dr. Vili Abraham. He's with the Sapir College and the Technological Marketing Department, where he was a graduate of that department, and now he's a tenure-track lecturer in the same department. His unique tech marketing lectures, really provide a lot of guidance for that student body. He directs the department's student digital marketing internships and marketing clinic and serves as the department's teaching committee chair. Dr. Abraham is currently leading international research in tourist behaviors and appears regularly as an economic commentator on ILTV and other news programs broadcast globally. And let me tell you a little bit about his book that he wrote with Jay Abraham. No relation between the two gentlemen. They just share the same last name. Jay Abraham actually was voted one of the top business coaches in the U.S. in the early 2000s. And they partnered on writing this fascinating book. It's called The Wonder Drug for Business Growth. Let me tell you a little bit about the book. Are you tired of chasing cold leads, burning cash on ads, and wondering where your next client will come from? Well, there's a smarter way. It's stress-free, and it grows exponentially by turning clients into advocates, not just buyers. Where does that sound familiar, folks? If you're listening to this podcast and you've done it for a while, you know, like in the business development body of knowledge, we talk about building trust. Business development is customer and community advocacy that creates corporate growth. You advocate for your clients, and then eventually they advocate for you and provide referrals and help you grow your business. And look, this isn't just theory. It's proven, field-tested system in this book that's built on principles that have driven over $21 billion in documented revenue across 10,000 plus businesses and 1,000 plus industries. In The Wonder Drug for Business Growth, legendary business strategist Jay Abraham and marketing professor Dr. Vili Abraham reveal how to turn your happiest clients into your most powerful sales force, delivering warm, high-converting leads without paid ads, funnels, or cold outreach. It's not gimmick, okay? This isn't gimmick. It's about trust-based momentum that compounds. So you scale with confidence and you don't burn out. Inside this book, you'll discover how to trigger referrals naturally using behavioral science, design plug-and-play systems for B2B, B2C, consulting, and service models. Create referral gravity. I love this topic, referral gravity. To attract ideal clients organically, you'll multiply your reach through strategic alliances, and you'll avoid the silent mistakes that kill most word-of-mouth growth. Dr. Vili Abraham, sir, thank you for joining us today on the show.
It's a great pleasure to be here, Tony.
So, Dr. Abraham, if you could share with the listeners a little bit about, your journey. How did you get into this field of study?
Well, I started out as a technological marketing student, as you've mentioned. I'm now the department chair, by the way, and I've been doing this for the fourth year. I got into business kind of accidentally, because when I was trying to think about what to pursue, what bachelor's degree to pursue, I heard that there was a new department called technological marketing, and I was into sales. So I said, wow, technology, marketing, that's me. I didn't even go to any of the open days. I just said, let's go, let's see what happens. And my academic career actually started by teaching English as a foreign language. I was in my third year of studies at Sapir College, and I was already a university professor at Ben-Gurion University. And one thing led to another. I was a EFL teacher. with a BA degree, and there were rumors, who's this Villy? We all have master's degree. This was back in 2003, and why do we hire him? And I really felt threatened, and I really liked the position of being a professor at the university. So I pursued a master's degree. The most natural thing to do was to pursue a master's in business administration. And then I had an appetite for a doctoral degree. So my doctorate is from Manchester Business School, and I focused on consumer behavior and international marketing. As soon as I was awarded my Doctor of Business Administration degree, I got into teaching business. So essentially from 2012 until today, I did a lot of teaching in business administration, less EFL. And my research since 2015, more or less, focused a lot on consumer behavior, tourism behavior, some strategy. And then when I met Jay Abraham, when he came to visit here in the country last year, we happened to meet by accident. I mean, it was just coincidence. He came to my college and he was giving this lecture. And there was some delay with setting up the podium. So he sat next to me and he said, well, you look like a nice guy. What are you doing here? And I said, I'm a professor here at the college. And I said, we both have the same name, the same family name. And he said, really? Wow, you stay here. At the end of the lecture, I'll tell you how, I got this name because it wasn't my original name. So one thing led to another. We had a meeting. And then I was really fascinated by his work because as opposed to many other coaches that I follow on YouTube and other people, what I like about Jay's work, and it's not because we collaborate so closely, is because he's very practical. Many of the things that I've learned from reading his books, from the mentoring that I got from him, I applied with my clients and they got immediate results. So I became very fascinated, especially with referrals, because many of my clients, and I'll share statistics, 95% of companies today don't have one systemized referral strategy in place. They base their word of mouth on hope and luck. And those who do implement and apply at least one systemized referral strategy, they see a boost in sales. And I'm not talking about incremental 3, 5, 10% increase in sales. We're talking about geometric growth, 30, 40, 50, 100, and 200% growth in sales. That's phenomenal, and it has been proven a lot. And I think what is unique about this book, and that's the feedback that I got from many colleagues, is that it's one of the rare books where you have the experience of a person like Jay Abraham, who has 50 years of experience, and somebody who was more academic like me, bringing in the scientific evidence. So a lot of CEOs that I've spoken to, they said, Villy, it's the first book that I read, and I said, well, where's the evidence? Where's the solid evidence? And this is where I was able to find it. So I support all theories developed by Jay Abraham related to referrals on scientific research, coming from the field of consumer behavior, which is my main area of expertise.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. And I loved how it was a chance encounter between the two of you in an academic environment. And I really like how you bring the behavioral science into the book and the factual science-based support for what has worked many times for Jay Abraham in a practical business environment. And then also to see that you applied those same tactics with your clients and found them to be true. So in the true academic scientific process, you have theory, you have science, you have the behavioral science supporting everything. You implemented the tactics, and you essentially tested those, I suppose, in your own practice, and found them to be successful and true. So this is really fascinating. And I also like your origin story where you started in sales and you moved to marketing and you started teaching business. I guess my question to you is, do you feel that personally you are aligned? There's always that alignment problem between marketing and sales. And I often tell people, there wouldn't be an issue if you would realize that what comes between marketing and sales is business development. It's the prospect developers that have this specialty. And business developers, just like you, I mean, you are really a business developer at heart, because as business developers, our whole mission is not to help get the sale. Yes, that's an objective, but our longer term objective, we swing through the sale, we drive through the sale, we go into customer implementation, customer success, and then ideally the growth phase where we grow them as a client, but in turn they help us grow. They reciprocate with their advocacy and their referrals. So I'm so excited to jump right into the top 3 tactics from your book, because this is right in line, folks, with a practical application of what you read in the business development body of knowledge. So let's find out more about this wonder drug.
All right. So, first of all, regarding this Wonder Drug book, so we have a chapter where we delve into 10 referral strategies with which we believe are the most prevalent, most common that any business, regardless of its size, whether it's B2B or B2C, can implement. In the appendix of the book, there are additional 133. So we've developed together with Jay 143 referral strategies that anyone can apply. If you apply only one, you will benefit from exponential growth. But if you apply 2 or 3, you'll see a major change. So what we did in this book, in the appendix, you'll find 143 referral strategies with names that we've given them and how to apply them. This book is really for more people who just want to get an idea about what are referral strategies, just to get you started with a lot of practical tips. I will later talk about advanced courses that we develop as a follow-up to people who want to expand more about their knowledge. But the uniqueness of this book is that it delves into psychology. So, for example, one of the things that we go into is, who is your ideal referrer? I mean, can any client be your your ideal referrer? And the answer is no, because some people are not motivated to do it. Some people might think, well, if I say to my friend, look, Vili has this great brand, why don't you buy it? The friend might say, well, what is his interest? Why is he telling me this? So there are some people who prevent themselves from being referrers. But if you explain that, if you take a client that was very satisfied with your product or service, okay, and at the end of the service or after the transaction, you say something like, if you found value in the service, or if you found the product gave you value, is there anybody who is a close friend, a family member that you care enough about to also benefit? And this really motivates them. So the bottom line is that although there are a lot of people who might say, well, why should I refer a friend? But if you understand the psychology, you can overcome barriers. There are some clients who are altruistic, and these are the kind of people who would refer you, but they don't want to be incentivized. They don't want any money. But if you do give an incentive to their friend, that's a different story. So you need to learn more about your clients. All clients will be willing to refer you, but if you push too much with money with certain clients, they might say, well, I don't want to do this because I don't want my friends to think I'm benefiting from them. So that's basically the psychology behind it. You want to go into some of the strategies?
I would love to do that, but let me summarize the first intro concept that you presented, which is, you have 140 plus strategies that you present in your book for referrals, and it's all centered around identifying the ideal referral profile, right? Or ideal referrer profile. And I think that's just a fascinating concept because so many companies are wrapped around the ideal customer profile. They say ICP. But you're actually looking past the sale. You're looking toward, okay, what would be my referral from this individual, and who are my ideal referral profiles that I can engage and ask for the referrals or incentivize for the referrals, depending on their personality type. So that's a great concept.
Yeah. All right. So we go into that, and we also go into myths. There are a lot of business developers who say, well, if I ask my clients to refer a friend, they'll say I'm exploiting them. And there are all sorts of myths. So we focus on 5 myths, and we debunk them, and we say why it's not true. I bring support from research saying that this is really not supported by anything. So there's really no reason why you should not be using referrals, because it's really having word of mouth as something you control. The difference between word of mouth and referrals is that word of mouth is something that happens randomly. You need to hope that somebody will refer. But when you have this in place and you ask your customers, you send them a script, you send them an email after after they buy something from you, a product or service, and you say, if you're happy, would be happy if you send this script, or if you refer your friend, and then I will give you 20% discount or whatever in the future. Again, depending on the personality, there's no reason why it will not happen. And this is only B2C referrals. You can also use other companies in order to refer their clients, especially when they're selling something that is used before your product is used or after the product is used or service. And by the way, using JVs is phenomenal with referrals, and a lot of companies are not doing this.
Yeah, I like that. I like the whole network effect that you talk about. And so many people say word of mouth when they actually are talking about referrals, and they try to use those interchangeably. Word of mouth is just it's random, right? I mean, there's no trigger, there's no initiative. It's just kind of this random, spontaneous word of mouth, which is great. It's nice to have those, but you can't bank on it. It's nothing you can build a system around. Whereas referrals, you can. You're engaging one or more multiple parties to collaborate and advocate for each other. And one of those examples that you gave is the JVs, the partnerships, not just asking for referrals, engaging referrals with your clients, but also engaging for referrals with your partners, kind of a partner referral ecosystem, if you will.
Exactly. And one of the things that Jay talks a lot about is seeing the marketing environment as not competitive, but rather as an ecosystem that you can use in order to grow together. A great example of that is Walmart and Amazon. I mean, they're giant competitors. However, Amazon realized that some of its trucks leave ports half empty. And that's a waste of resources. And that's why they have some of Walmart's products in their trucks and the other way around. So this is a great example of how you can collaborate with people who don't compete with you in operations or logistics. I mean, there are so many ways we can collaborate together. And one of them is definitely sending customers to each other that have complementary services. Look, for example, let's say I sell iPhones, okay? And I don't have protectors or covers. So I can refer somebody who does produce or offer covers and get and earn money by not selling some by having my customers get something I don't sell. So I kind of get a cut off the sale, right? So if somebody sells covers, let's say for $10, and if I refer a client, he gives me $1. So I make money off a product I don't sell by just referring other people.
Great. Okay, let's jump into your final tactic, the top takeaway from the book, number 3.
Okay, so we end this book by talking about ways to measure the personality, or actually, well, let me put this in other words, how to understand what type of customer you're dealing with, because there are different personalities. So any survey that you do following a service or product that you sell, you can integrate a few questions into the questionnaire. And this is how you can realize whether your customer has this personality or other personality. And by understanding your customers more in depth, you're able to decide which referral strategy is best for you. And again, this book is only, I mean, it really goes into depth, but if you want to go more into applying and implementing strategies, there is a referral mastery that Jay Abraham offers at abraham.com. And we're also developing now a referral mastery 360 course where you get 12 weeks of intensive meetings with me where I help you apply strategies to your business, and results are guaranteed.
Oh, that's great. All right. So I like tactic number 3, which is really understanding the personality profile of your referrer and your clients. And what's interesting is you give an example, you give a tactic where you seek clarifying information on right after the purchase, right? It sounds like it's right after the point of sale, right after the purchase, which typically is when clients have the highest positive perspective of your company. because you're solving their pain, you're solving their problem right then and there, or you're allowing them to accomplish their dream, whatever it is, right then and there. And that's when, the neuroscience shows that the brain chemicals are the most stimulated, they're the most active. Of course, you're a behavioral scientist, you know this stuff. So it's fascinating how you do that right at that trigger point. You're triggering that email to them to also understand their personality profile a little bit more and their willingness to potentially be a great referrer later on down the road. And I think that is just fascinating. And I know we just only covered the top 3 tactics from the book, and there's so much more in the book and in the training. Billy, can you give us the name of the training again one more time?
Yeah, it's called Referral Mastery. You can find it at abraham.com. And we're developing another course, which is going to be live probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's more extensive. The Referral Mastery is comprised of 4 modules, which were pre-recorded by Jay. The Referral Mastery 360 includes 4 pre-recorded sessions with Jay, 8 more live sessions with me. You get assignments, you get homework every week. I ask you, okay, make a connection, apply one strategy from the book, and show me the results. How did you apply them? What did you get? Did you get more referrals? Did you get more profit? If you didn't, we try other stuff. So it's really, really implementable and applicable to any business. I think one of the problems today with a lot of masterminds, et cetera, is that you leave them very inspired, but you really don't know what to do. So our purpose is to really take you by the hand and make sure that you apply what you've learned in the master course.
Oh, Billy, that's great. And I love the top 3 tactics. I'll just summarize those tactics right now. Tactic number 1, find your ideal referral client, profile, ideal referral profile for your clients. Those clients that are going to be the most likely to provide a referral and the most compelling referral, successful referrals. Next is tactic number 2, the the partner referral ecosystem that you talk about, building that network of referral partners that are engaged, that are active, that are delivering referrals that are consistent with a high probability win. And then the final thing is at the point of sale or right after the client uses your product for the first time, send them an email, get a sense of how they use the product, start to identify their personality profiles. And of course, if folks want to do that, go to abraham.com, the Mastery 360 with Dr. Billy Abraham. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. I know this is a little bit shorter than our regular show, but you have a very busy calendar, and we thank you so much for sharing your very valuable time and insights with us today.
Thank you, Tony. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Oh, well, thank you, and we hope to have you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Business Development Podcast. Join our free community of corporate partners and business development professionals advancing the art, science, and ethics of the business development profession at gbdassociation.org.